There can be only one. The Highlander quote is not only a striking phrase, but also a fundamental concept of pop culture. After a long period of silence, the big new adaptation of the fantasy classic will finally hit theaters. In this new movie preview, we reveal all the known details about the big Highlander reboot with Henry Cavill. The first Highlander film from 1986 presented us with the world of Connor MacLeod, a Scottish warrior from the 16th century. After a battle in the Highlands, he discovers that he is immortal. Under the mentorship of Ramirez, played by Sean Connery, he learns the fine art of sword fighting and is introduced to the secrets of immortality. The movie culminates in an epic duel with his nemesis Kurgan in 1980s New York. Highlander developed into a resounding success. The legendary soundtrack by the band Queen also reached cult status. Christopher Lambert became a star overnight. 3 more movies, a TV movie, and an anime followed by 2007. In addition to the movies, various series also proved very popular, especially those starring Adrian Paul as Duncan MacLeod in the 90s. The franchise has also been expanded in numerous books, comics, and video games. All stories concerning the Highlanders are based on a key principle. In the course of human history, immortals appear again and again and inevitably face each other in deadly duels. The winner of such a battle takes on the powers and memories of his defeated opponent. This process continues until finally, only one immortal remains. This one is given the so-called prize, a kind of divine power. Although the upcoming Highlander reboot will refer to individual aspects of the previous works, it will still take its very own approach. It is conceived as a kind of prequel that takes up various elements of the TV series and films, but is not a remake of the original. Instead, the new movie is intended to set the foundation for further movies that will breathe new life into the franchise. John Wick director Chad Stahelski will provide a modern look. In an interview with the Direct magazine, he revealed that the story begins in the Scottish Highlands in the early 16th century. From there, the story repeatedly jumps to the present day, including New York and Hong Kong. The main character, played by Henry Cavill, has gained extensive martial arts experience over the course of more than 500 years. This clearly sets this new Highlander apart from Christopher Lambert's version, who is mainly regarded as a master of swordplay. Besides an action-packed production, Stahelski also hinted at a romantic component, which already played a central role in the 1986 original. In contrast to the previous film, he plans to tell this aspect from a new perspective and combine classic elements with fresh ideas. His comment on this: "It's a bit of a love story, but not how you think." The new movie is also said to be gearing up for a final meeting of the last immortals. This suggests that future Highlander movies could feature different protagonists who then meet in a joint movie. So, we could be in for an epic new universe to rival the established fantasy series. The casting of Hollywood favorite Henry Cavill in the lead role has already been met with enthusiasm by fans. Cavill, known for example from Man of Steel and the Witcher series, has proven several times that he can handle physically demanding roles. His experience with swords is also believed to have been a decisive factor in his casting. The actor is a self-confessed fantasy fan and is unlikely to have hesitated about taking on the lead role in a new Highlander film for long. The reboot will surely once again feature a mentor for the main character, who will introduce him to the world of the Immortals. In the original, Sean Connery took on this role. Here it should be mentioned that an appearance by the first Highlander actor, Christopher Lambert, is of course not entirely unlikely, whether as a cameo appearance or actually in a bigger role. His last appearance in the franchise was in the 2000 film Highlander Endgame, where he met series lead actor Adrian Paul. We could well imagine him in a small role in the new film. Another amusing idea, of course, would be to cast ex-Kurgan actor Clancy Brown as a wise mentor this time. According to Stahelski, many characters from the original will be adopted. This suggests that MacLeod will once again have to face the brutal Kurgan. He was played by Clancy Brown in the 80s, an actor with whom the director had already worked on John Wick 4. Of course, he is now too old for the role, but it is still not known who will play the role of the villain this time. At one point, there were rumors that actor Michael Fassbender would be in the Highlander reboot as a villain. The role allegedly isn't that of Kurgan, however, but that of the so-called Mongol. He is considered by many to be one of the most exciting characters in the Highlander universe and first appeared in the comic series Highlander Origins: The Kurgan. To this day, though, neither this role nor its casting has been confirmed. If Stahelski really does want to rely primarily on well-known characters from the original film, such a high-profile casting of a new supporting character would be rather unlikely. But who knows, maybe we will even end up seeing Michael Fassbender as Kurgan in the new Highlander movie. The immortality of the characters offers plenty of narrative potential. In theory, there are no limits to the plot, either in terms of time nor place. The Highlander series in particular played with the idea that the Immortals were repeatedly embroiled in real historical events, an exciting approach that could also be suitable for the reboot. Immortality also opens up fascinating conflicts on an emotional level. How do the characters actually deal with the fact that they keep outliving their mortal loved ones and friends and end up alone? What does it mean to have centuries of memories and experiences with them? And how can they really trust each other when they know that, in the end, only one can survive? These questions allow each new Highlander story to be more than just an action movie. In terms of locations, almost anything is possible too. The Immortals come from different cultures and could clash anywhere in the world. The contrast between different combat styles and traditions have always been a fascinating aspect of the series and could make for spectacular confrontations. A particularly intriguing question remains: how will the reboot deal with the mythology of the Highlander universe? The origin of the Immortals and the meaning of their eternal battle have been interpreted in different ways throughout the years, which is still a matter of debate among fans today. One legendary example was Part 2, which is considered one of the worst Hollywood movies of all time. In the original movie version, the Immortals were simply declared to be aliens. Later works prefer to keep this odd occurrence under wraps. Which elements will be adopted as canon for the reboot and which will not remains to be seen. One thing is certain, however: the new movie will pick up on familiar aspects, but it is still unclear exactly which ones. And as the project is intended as a prelude to a larger franchise, not every question is expected to be answered immediately. According to director Chad Stahelski, he intends to direct Highlander like a kind of John Wick with swords. Ryan J. Condal, known for his work on House of the Dragon and Rampage, wrote the screenplay. The film is being produced by Lionsgate, Stahelski's longtime partner in the John Wick movies, and well known for films with a somewhat tougher style. Stahelski emphasized how difficult it was to teach the actors a convincing handling of the weapon. It takes immense preparation and dedication to create realistic and gripping action sequences. As a big video game fan, he will certainly get on well with the nerdy Henry Cavill. A film adaptation of the hit game Ghost of Tsushima is also on the director's schedule. It remains to be seen how tough the new movie will be. An R rating is certainly conceivable. However, it is also possible that the initial aim is to appeal to a wider audience, but a shallow Highlander film would certainly upset the majority of fans. Filming was actually due to kick off in Scotland in January 2025. However, because the John Wick spin-off Ballerina was delayed, Highlander also had to be pushed back a little. According to current plans, filming will now start in May 2025. However, Highlander is still slated for release in 2026, so it shouldn't take much longer for the final cast of the film to be announced. What do you think? Is the reboot in good hands with the John Wick director? And is Henry Cavill a worthy successor to Christopher Lambert? Or can there be only one for you? We're looking forward to reading your comments.